Good morning, everybody. This is AL Thick Madame. I know that some of y'all might be wondering where I've been. Y'all, I am okay. I am considered to be an essential worker, and for some unknown reason, this week was very rough at work. So rough to the point of where when I would get off work, I would go home and eat because I wouldn't have eaten all day, and then I would just knock out. Not because of me being full and having the itis, as people like to call it. It just literally was because my body was so worn down. Y'all, but anyway, I'm here. I know I have to do the insecure recap, all that stuff. But in the meantime, since I'm out and about and I actually have to wait for one place to open since a lot of people's hours have changed, um, I am going to do a thoughts video. And I've been wanting to do this one in particular since one of the topics that I'm going to discuss came up. And so let me go on ahead and get into it. So, just in case y'all haven't liked or subscribed, what I'm saying, I would really appreciate it. So if you like my content, I really do appreciate those of you who have been sticking with me despite my inconsistency at times. But yeah, I'm going a little bit through. Okay, y'all. So the topic of discussion in this moment is going to be, again, Teddy Riley. So after seeing Growing Up Hip Hop Thursday, I have to throw Dame Dash into the mix as well. So first I'm going to start off with Teddy Riley. All right, so the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because I was minding my business and I got a notification. So I looked at the notification on my phone, and apparently Teddy Riley went live with someone. All I saw was his name. I didn't even pay attention to the name of the person who he'd actually gone live with. But when I got on there, I realized that it was Judge Maybelline Ephraim. So just in case any of you are not familiar with who she is, Judge Maybelline Ephraim was a divorce court TV judge. And I think she's actually, of course, done stuff in real life, but that's where most of us actually knew her from. And I think she has has been retired for a good little while. And, I can't think of the other woman's name. She just retired not too long ago and handed it over to Judge Faith. So anyway, I was like, oh, okay. And like, I had to look at her and I was like, why does she look so familiar? And I looked at her name and I was like, huh? But then I looked at her and like she had this wig on and it was throwing me off. Y'all know that when you've seen her on her show, her hair was short. She always had it cut short or whatever. But she had on some random wavy long wig that was a like light brownish, reddish color or whatever. And so it threw me off. So anyway, we've now established that that's who it is. So I'm like, oh, okay. So what are they doing on live together? Y'all, of course, Teddy starts to have issues again. And I'm like, why can't you get your life together? First of all, when he got on there, Maybelline Ephraim had to let him know, look, you got this like purple light on your head, because y'all know he's bald. He had like random light. It looked like a purple light, but he said that it was the way that the ring light was, I guess hitting the room and creating these shadows or whatever. And so he ended up getting on his phone and telling somebody to do something to some lighting in that room, and it changed it to this red color, and it wasn't as bad. Y'all, anyway, after that technical difficulty happened, they start talking, and I'm like, am I late? Like, because he literally had like just joined. So I'm like, why is it that I feel like I'm late to something? Y'all, they start talking and he talks about how he has 9 kids. And I mean, I knew he had a lot of kids, but I didn't know he had 9. And he actually was including one that, to my understanding, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not looking it up because I could have swore she said it out of her own mouth. Nia Riley ain't blood related to him. He didn't contribute to the creation of her, but he claims her. And I think it's because he adopted her when he was with the mama or whatever. I don't know. So the 9 is including her. He actually named off all of his kids. His oldest is like my age or something like that. And the youngest is 36. No, the oldest is like a couple of years younger than me, I think maybe. It was either 32 or 36. I'm 36. So whatever. His oldest child is 30 something. The youngest is 6. And he has 6 baby mamas. You know what I'm saying? The first person that he was with, he had 4 kids with, and the remaining 5, he had, of course, 1 with each of them. The problem that I had with this live, it ain't had nothing to do with the technical difficulties. My issue was he tried to make it seem like the reason why he was able to somewhat seamlessly have this amazing parenting situation with all the mothers and all of them communicating and all of them being on the same page was because he was just him, and he just was like, oh, I just take each one of them to the side, and once I handled that one, I went to the second one, and I went to the third one, and I went to the 4th one, 5th one, 6th one, and I just explained the situation to them, and none of them, meaning the kids, they all know each other, so none of them are just out here and not knowing who their siblings are. And I was just like, why are you trying to sit up here and really try to throw these lies out there as if you saying, hey, I have kids with you, and I've been out here being me, this super producer, I make all this money and everybody wants me. And I mean, it's not like he's an unattractive person, but he was out there. He was out there back in the day. I even knew about this, and he is older than me. He's like 50 something. And I even know this. I used to jam to just about every hit that he had something to do with, so I know how it go. So anyway, y'all, he really was sitting up here trying to make it seem like the communication was the reason why, and him, just talking to them a certain way. Me and several other people were like, lies. That money is the reason why. You can't sit up here and tell me that some random regular dude, let's say that the same dude, let's say that there was a random guy who worked a regular 9 to 5, making $50,000 a year after taxes, was in the same predicament, meaning he had 4 kids with one of them and 1 with the remaining 5. Do you think that the women would have been like, oh, it's okay? Because especially the one who had 4, do you really think that she would have been here for him saying, well, I ain't got it, I gotta live too? And no, you finna come up off a whole lot of money, and you're gonna be mad, and you're gonna be bitter, and all this other stuff that a lot of the men and women, because y'all do know that there are women who are on child support. Y'all, I'm sorry. Some of these people be doing the least. I'm gonna talk about that later on. I might actually add that in this video as a thoughts post because I'm tired. Y'all, but I'm like, okay, you cannot sit up there and say any of this as if all of that money that you were handing them hand over fist was what the driving force was that allowed them to be like, okay, cool, we ain't together no more, but cool, you finna break me off all this money and I'm good, cool. You're not finna sit up here and try to convince me otherwise. And like the oldest child was in the chat going off, and of course, rah and all this for her daddy. And I mean, do what you do. I understand that's your daddy, but I'm just saying he was not around. He was not there like that. He even said that in the live. And you're not finna tell me that the thing that kept them from setting it off and being mad and upset wasn't the money. He was making money hand over fist. So stop trying to lie like, oh, well, I talked to them. So I was able to talk to them, and that's the reason why I was able to do these things. No, that wasn't what it was. The majority of the driving force was that money, that ridiculous money. He had enough money to burn. That's how much money he was had coming in. So let's be clear. So I don't like when people like him who have money like that to literally burn him and the futures of the world. See, Teddy Riley was future before Future even was in existence. Let's get that clear. That's literally what this is. Future is the modern day version of Teddy Riley. So, I mean, and I'm not saying any of this in a way to necessarily bash him or make it seem like I hate him or anything. I'm cool as far as the music is concerned. I just had an issue with him trying to make it seem like, oh, well, I talked to them, and that's why I was able to have this amazing relationship with my kids and, not have issues with them. All of the moms know each other and all the kids know each other, and they were all fine with it. No, they weren't fine with it. They decided to be fine with it because that check was right. That check was more than right. I'm pretty sure the kind of money he was coming up off of, plenty of them never had to work a day in their life if they didn't want to. I'm just saying. There are people, what's her name? Bow Wow and Future's baby mama. What's her name? Something Shabazz or whatever it is. That heifer don't have to work because she got a baby by Future and she got a baby by Bow Wow. She don't have to work unless she want to work. Like, that's what I'm saying. You cannot tell me that people like those people who have money like that, people go shut up and be like, they're an amazing dad, even if whether they're spending time or not. I'm glad that some of these people actually are spending time with their kids because they need fathers. When we're talking about the fathers and the women who actually are out there paying the child support as well, and they're in their child's lives and they're spending time with them, I appreciate the fact that they do that stuff too, which is something that is very much so needed. But don't sit up here, Teddy Riley, and people like you who are out here and try to make it seem like, oh, I had all these kids, and the reason why I was able to do the things that I was able to do was because I sat down and talked to them, and this is just what it was. And they understood that I had an understanding with each of them, and that's why they were able to come together. No. Anyway, moving right on along to Dame and Dash. So, if anything has happened as of, like, literally right now, present day, I don't know, because other stuff had been out there in the news as far as, like, his situation with Lee Daniels, with the money and all that. But on Growing Up Hip Hop, they showed him going to New York, going to see what his situation was, and they ended up taking him to booking or wherever in Brooklyn or somewhere in one of those 5 boroughs or whatever, y'all, for child support, something dealing with child support. Then he gets in the confessional and says, oh, child support ain't nothing to me. The money's nothing to me. He said it over and over again. If the money's nothing to you, why are you behind in child support? Why aren't you doing what you have been mandated to do? And you wouldn't be in this situation. And he was like, out of all the things I've done in my life, now I'm going to jail for something like this. I can't believe I would possibly be going to jail for something like this. And then his fiance or whatever Rocky's supposed to be. Oh, Lord. I'm not even going to get into that because some of the things that people have said about her, y'all know, because the love of his life was supposedly Aaliyah, and a lot of people feel like, I'm not even gonna get into that. But anyway, y'all already know what I'm getting at. If you ain't heard it for yourself, you already know. Y'all, I was just like, sir, don't keep sitting up here saying money ain't nothing and it's nothing to you. It's nothing. Okay, well, stop fighting with whoever the little girl's mama is. Because I'm thinking it's for the youngest child. All the rest of them grown, I think, outside of the baby that Rocky is carrying, if she's still carrying, if she hasn't miscarried, because it has been hard for her to conceive. But you're always at odds with the mama. Why? I don't understand. Why are you always at odds with the mama? And like I've already said before, if it's just so easy and it's nothing as far as the money's concerned, then come up off of it and stop talking about it. I'm not ever going to try to sit up here and make it seem like the system is just so fair and it's amazing and all this other stuff when it's not. I know that when it comes to the prison system, the jail, all that stuff interconnected. And when it comes to child support and all that stuff, I already know that it's not a fair deal. I have people right now that I'm friends with that either owe child support or they don't get the child support that they're supposed to get. Like one of my friends, he owes child support, but it's because the mama took him off of child support and then put him back on it. And then because he was out working, he had no idea and hadn't gotten the letter. And when he finally did get notification, he ended up in the rears a little bit, and he had already caught up. And then like she would try to manipulate the situation. Now there were people, and I'm not saying this because this person is my friend. I've been friends with this person for well over 10, 15 years. It's not because I'm friends with this person. It's because he actually documented things. He actually kept receipts of everything. Whenever he would pay for school clothes, shoes, send money, like outside of the child support, he was sending other money to help the mother of that child with certain expenses, and then some, just asking for random money. And so I told him, I was like, have you been keeping receipts? Because I didn't know if he had been being crazy out here and not having receipts. And he was like, yeah, I've been keeping receipts for however long. I was like, good, you better present that, go to court, present that to court. You can have all your paperwork updated, have everything adjusted. Because if you ain't got it like that and something has changed with your financial situation, if it's something that they deem to be a situation that is like, okay, we understand that, we can, adjust it, cool. But at the same time, don't sit up here and try to cheat the system and try to, well, basically, I don't want to say that. Let me retract that. Don't sit up here and cheat your child. Don't sit up here and cheat your child, because I have another friend as of right now has a child under the age of 10 whose father would rather get a job, a legal job where he is documented and doesn't want to get docked any money for child support. Once the mama realizes he's on child support, she'll go file again, and they'll try to take money. Keep in mind, the money that he is ordered to pay is less than $75 a month. I'm being generous by even saying that amount. So it's like, why do y'all do this? Now, if I'm gonna be real, let me just say this. There has been all kinds of random posts going on in groups and people like just talking about it in general, especially because of this stimulus money that some people seem to be missing out on because they owe child support, and they are very angry. And I'm like, well, if you're in the rears far enough, and they deem it to be far enough because there's some kind of a limit as far as how far back in the rears you can be. And then if you are too far, you won't be getting a stimulus check. So in this one group that I was in, there was this woman who was like, hey, my name is whatever. Me and my husband were supposed to get the stimulus money, but we ended up getting the letter. She screenshot the letter, and the letter said that the money, the $1,200 you was gonna get, you ain't getting it. The $1,200 he was gonna get, he ain't getting it. And they had 2 children together, so the $1,000 they was gonna get for that, they wasn't gonna get it. And they said it has been taken because of child support that he was in the rears for. So they were furious and all this other stuff. Apparently there is something that you can do so that the wife could actually at least get the $1,200 and the $1,000 for the kids, and he would just have to be out of the $1,200 for himself because he was in the rears. So the conversation went on, and there were various, of course, when situations like this come up, when people talk about this in discussion, mainly men are in their feelings about it because they hate the fact that they're on child support and all this other stuff. And my thing is this: despite the fact that you got somebody pregnant, laid down with them, and created a child together with this person, if you do not have full legal custody or have the child most of the time, or y'all ain't doing it half and half or whatever, then I can't have sympathy for you. I can't do it. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get a whole lot of, thumbs down for this video for the guys mainly that are on here or whatever, and that's fine. But the truth is the truth. Most guys that have issues with what they have to pay child support wise are the same exact ones that have to have every single pair of Jordans, KDs, and every other shoe that is over $100 in a shoe collection. They got to go and do the absolute most wardrobe wise, but you got a problem with paying the amount that it takes to fill up a 4-cylinder engine vehicle. Did you hear me? Do you know how much it costs? And I'm talking about prices right now. Prices here are like $130 something, $140 something at minimum. So it's like, I know for my car, I have a V8 engine, and it is a big engine. It takes a lot of gas. It takes me $25 to fill my car up when it's on E, meaning at any moment, if I want to let it ride out past the 30 miles, I'm going to be, out on the road with nothing in the car. It would take $25 for it to hit the overfill line, to go past full and then hit overfill. There are people out here who have a problem with paying that. And I'm like, why aren't you understanding that there is a lot that goes into raising one child, let alone children? You ain't factoring in the fact that a child can get sick at any time, whether or not they have Medicaid. Sometimes it does not require a doctor's visit. It could be something as simple as, let me go to the store and get this cough medicine, or let me go do some natural remedies with just some lemons and stuff like that, and make them tea, all that stuff. That's money. They have clothes they need outside of school clothes. That's money. They have to have themselves clean, so toiletries are needed. They have to have a place to stay. The electricity and the water needs to be on and running. And yes, whoever is the custodial main parent, I understand that you would think, oh, well, if I'm the one who's doing most of that most of the time, why is it that I have to pay child support? Because there are situations like that. Because this one person in this group, he tried to come sideways at everybody. In the way he talks about other stuff in other groups, I really think he lied. He's trying to say that he actually has the child most of the time, and the mama is just with the child on weekends and holidays and all this other stuff. I don't know. The way he talks about other stuff, I think he lying and just trying to seem like he doing something and he ain't doing nothing. But anyway, from what I've seen, whether you are a man or a woman paying child support, you need to understand that a lot goes into raising a child financial wise. When it comes to the money, why are you trying to sit up here and be, I gotta pay this, I gotta pay that? So then, this is what I need to understand from the people who are complaining about the custodial parent who is working. Don't get mad if the payment is increasing because they have no one to watch the child and child care has to be paid for and provided. So then you have to have an adjustment, and then the pay goes up because of that or something like that. What if that's the case? Then you mad some more. Why? You want this person to come up off of money and help, and they are the main ones in most cases, especially if this is a regular 9-to-5 working type of person. Both people are just normal working people, whether they have other relationships, marriages, and other kids on the side or whatever that you have to consider. I'm just saying, there are so many factors that it's like, you don't understand that money literally in most cases where the people are complaining, that money is a drop in the bucket for the person who has to deal with and handle these children on the regular. Yes, I understand that there are trash people out there who have sex with anybody and everybody and procreate, and they really are trash. I get that. But I'm talking about the ones who really are out here struggling, trying to make ends meet, not necessarily because they got pregnant by this person or they impregnated this person and now they're being drained of funds or whatever the situation may be on whichever side it's coming from. What I'm saying is understand that there is a price, and it's financial. It's long nights where you ain't getting no sleep because your child up sick. Y'all up nights wondering where all these things are going to come from that you need in order to take care of your child for whatever reason. But I'm just saying, like, just to kind of make it full circle, I just wish that Teddy Riley would have been upfront and honest. And what was crazy was before they really got into the conversation, Teddy Riley, for some reason, he got disconnected. And then Maybelline Ephraim, she said that she would ask him, why is it that he wasn't wearing condoms, or what happened with that and whatever. So when he was reconnected, she asked him about that. He said, well, I was just blessed that I never came up with any diseases. And he kind of was making it, basically, it just seemed like he was saying that the vibe was great and he didn't feel like they needed to use condoms, the people who he was having sex with all his life, whether he ended up giving them, having children with them or not. And I was just like, okay, whatever. Not knowing, in my mind, I feel like he's doing all this and not knowing that plenty of them was hoping to get pregnant because they knew they was going to get some money. But anyway, y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all think about this never-ending debate about child support, whether it is a man paying or not. Because I just always found it funny that the main people who seem to complain are the main ones who do the absolute most with money for themselves. But they want to complain and act like, oh no, why you want all this money? All you want to just do is this with the money. And it's like, you can't get mad. Like, in my mind, I just feel like you can't get mad. But anyway, yeah. I think that's all that's going to be for this thoughts post. I didn't even think it was going to be this long, but it's just, y'all, Teddy Riley just be doing the most. And ever since he started being on everybody's live doing the most, I just be like, sir. And he really sounds like he's promoting a book or something when he's speaking. And I'm just like, you feeding lies to the people. You feeding hopes and dreams of ignorant people who think it's cool not to pay child support for children that they've helped create. They feel like, oh, why should I do that? And a lot of these same people are the same ones that don't be spending time with their kids at all. Anyway, y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all think about this video. Please thumbs up this video and subscribe to my channel if you have not. I really appreciate all the support. I will be back later on sometime today, hopefully, to upload a video or two. I have some other things I have to do. I have other requests from family members and some of my friends for some quarantine karaoke. I know I haven't been doing karaoke on here in quite some time, but I got to get my voice right, and it's just too much going on internally for that to happen. So I just let them laugh and get their life or whatever with my individual videos that I send to them, and I just leave it at that. So until I do better in that department, I think I'm going to put that on pause as far as this channel is concerned, but it's not going away. It's just paused for the moment. Anyway, I'll see y'all later on. Be safe. Bye.